Hi, it's Dan Pym from Loan Market Double Bay, and with me today is James Keenan, Head Auctioneer for Ray White Double Bay and Associate Director. James, I wanted to have a chat with you today about auctions right now. It seems that the auction clearance rate is going crazy. What are you seeing out there?
Look, it's busy, very busy times at the moment, and look, no better time to auction a property at the moment. What we're seeing at the moment is it's certainly a seller's market, and it's been driven by a few things. Obviously, supply is important. We've got an undersupply of stock, especially good quality stock, and of course, as you know, money's pretty cheap. And you get the opportunity to sell beforehand or at auction or after, but the auctions at the moment are as busy and as well represented as I've seen in recent years.
Yeah, Ray White's known as being an auction business, you know, for the last 120 years. Why does Loan Market recommend auctions so much?
Well, let's get back to Ray White. First of all, as a business and a franchise, we know how to do auctions because we've been very proactive around auctions for 50, 100 years. So I think we understand the process. And I think the most important thing is understanding how auctions work and obviously delivering an outcome. And as you mentioned before, clearance rates are around 85%. Well, what's that mean? You list your house at auction at the moment, you're an 85% chance of selling it. It's not a bad stat.
That's right. So, James, we see in the eastern suburbs in particular, a lot of properties are sold off market. Why do you think that is? Like that people sell quickly and rather than take it to auction and possibly get a better result?
Yeah, look, a good question. An off-market can be defined in a few ways. Quite often you'll find a lot of the properties that sell off-market are actually listed for auction but haven't gone to that sort of second stage, so to speak. And by setting an auction date, it creates the urgency. So what you're saying is to the original database buyers we're already talking to, look, you have an opportunity to come in now. If you like the home, you can put an offer forward. But if you want to put an offer forward now, obviously you're going to have to be fairly bullish with your approach, because for our owner to accept it, then they've got to feel comfortable that if they were to go to market, they may not do better. Yep. So I think it comes down to a few things. I think it depending on what the offer is, depending on how well qualified the buyer is, and ultimately depending on what the circumstances are of the vendor.
Yeah, for sure. What about, we're in the end of June now. It's traditionally a time where the property market's really quiet. People want to sell and list in spring. What do you think the advice is now? Is now still the best time to sell, or should people wait till summer?
It's a question we get asked a lot, and I answer it the same way every time. There's no point in trying to pick the best time to sell, so to speak. Trying to pick when is the best time to sell at the best possible price is impossible. I always say to people, when you're ready, push the button. I think, if you're ready to sell and you have a reason to sell, why hold back? I mean, for all the reasons that we've spoken about, stock levels, money's cheap, obviously. There's a feeling out there that the market's strong. We're following that feeling. So my advice is get in. I mean, people aren't travelling. Our sort of mid-year break is not quite what it was. Maybe you avoid that little period around the financial year, 10 days around that 1st of July. Otherwise, no, don't hold back, get into it.
Yeah. Last question. I've seen you call hundreds of auctions. I know when clients go there to an auction, it's quite a nerve-wracking experience. Have you got any tips for bidders to be successful?
Yeah, I do actually, and it's a very good question. And look, we understand that, and I think as a business we have empathy for people bidding at auctions for the first time, and I often say that to people. I think always go up and say hello to the auctioneer, introduce yourself. It doesn't have to be an us first them mentality. So I think feel comfortable. If you've got any questions before the auction, feel free to ask, and be positive. Put an offer on the table. Get it going. People say, oh, don't wait, hold back. Well, it's not going to buy you the property, is it? You want it, start the conversation with the vendor, and the only way you're going to do that is have a bid. Yeah. So I think be positive. Go in with a positive mindset. Go in with a mindset, I'm going to have a serious crack at buying it. Don't hold back. Have a go.
Yeah, good advice. Thanks, James. That's our market update for now. If you have any questions of James as the Chief Auctioneer, you can get in touch with him at Ray White Double Bay. Thank you.